technology, things have gotten just a little bit harder. And the simpler days of yes, ma'am, and pardon me, sir, have fallen by the way, sadly.
In fact, take a look from this scene from Parental Guidance, where Billy Crystal's character's grandson has some fun with his grandfather's name.
Now, instead of calling me Grandpa, why don't you call me Artie?
Can I call you Farty?
Okay. Well, that's kind of cute. I didn't know which one they were going to use. I think that's kind of cute. Here to help us navigate proper social etiquette in busy times are psychologist Jennifer Hartstein and Amy McCready. She's author of If I Have to Tell You One More Time, which is a terrific book. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
It is going downhill a little. We've all seen it.
It is. It really is. And I think the problem that we're having and that we are all talking about all the time is that we are not having face-to-face interactions. We're not existing, in IRL, right, in real life. We're constantly here. We're interacting this way. And it's really impacting how polite we are, how kind we are to one another, and what we're teaching our children.
Basic decency.
So has that kind of changed the rules when it comes to things like in restaurants or when you're out with your kids with all that, all those devices?
It's changed kind of the way people operate, because this is the first generation of kids who have really grown up on devices. And so what that means is they're spending so much time on their, texting and social media, they don't have much time practicing in real life, so they're not getting that training.
But that's critical to having a successful, happy life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is. And the fact is that they're missing out on this. And what's also happening is the parents are buying into it also. So you see families sitting at the table and everybody's on their gadgets or their devices, and they're not discussing it with
I was telling Hoda about it. I was at a restaurant, and all of the little kids had their headphones on and their tablets, and when the food came, they just kept eating. No interaction with anybody. It made me sad.
It is sad.
And it's kind of convenient for parents because they know their kids will behave, but they're not learning how to carry on a conversation or maintain eye contact or engage people, and they need those skills.
Let's talk about age-appropriate behavior for kids, because some parents don't know, like, at what age should my kid be doing X and Y. So let's say between the ages of 3 and 6, what should a child that age be able to do?
Well,
please and thank you, or
please and thank you they should be able to do, right? They can have general social graces. They can be able to say, may I have this? Or, they can share appropriately. They can tolerate being told no. And I think that at the end of the day, that's where the problem lies, right? We aren't telling kids no. And so ultimately what's happening is they think that it's okay anywhere. And they're doing whatever they want, whenever they want.
And isn't it by the time of 6, if you haven't taught your children the basics, you have,
it's too late.
It's almost too late.
Yes, and by the time they're, 7 to 10, they should be doing more sophisticated etiquette. So, good phone skills, being able to engage an adult in conversation.
Helping others.
Being a good guest, being a good host. So for parents, regardless of what age, we have to start with training and really practice and role play that at home so they can be prepared to do it in real life.
Some parents say, look, if you do X, I will give you a cookie, or if you do your homework, you'll get X. Is there anything wrong with rewards or bribes or whatever you want to call them?
Well, it's such a nice word.
We'll go with rewards. It is a fine line between what someone might call bribery and what someone might call rewards. But the fact is that reinforcement teaches new behavior. It just does. So the more you reinforce the behaviors you want, the more likely you are to see them in the long run. Bribery is a one-time, short-term thing. On occasion, it might have a place. But if you want to build up towards something for the long term, you've got to do it consistently and reinforce all the behaviors you want to see.
It works with dog training, Hoda.
Yes, it does.
I wouldn't know,
but it does. All right,
listen, ladies, we could talk about this forever because it is getting worse, and we have nobody to blame but ourselves as parents. Thanks, you guys.